Multifamily Mindset
podcast. Think bigger.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome once again to the MFM podcast. My name is Dallas Pruitt, and we were blessed this week. We were blessed this week to be able to have the Davenports, Brett and Megan Davenport. They are powerhouse leaders in the multifamily space, in this network, and just in life. I have had the privilege of getting to know them over the course of their career here at the Multifamily Mindset. And every day that I get to spend with them, I'm just thoroughly impressed in who they are as people, the way they carry themselves, and their leadership abilities, their problem-solving abilities, and just their overall mentality and approach to life. Them, as well as their son-in-law, Eric Chatterton, which I believe, hopefully I'm not spoiling anything in the upcoming weeks, but I believe he is going to be joining us here on the MFM podcast as well. So just super grateful for these two, and I'm excited to dive into their story because there's a lot to extract from it. They referenced it as a personal growth journey since they've entered MFM. And I loved how Megan shared her experience in elevating her life to that next level, and then not even being able to realize it had happened or notice that it had happened. Because I can relate so much to that same sentiment of just putting your head down and hyper-focusing on the tasks at hand and not pausing and stopping for a few moments to really recognize how far you've come. And, it's something that I wanted to encourage our listeners to do. Now, it's not something you need to get stuck in, but I do believe there is so much value and power in recognizing the wins that you are accruing throughout the course of your journey as you move towards your goals. Allowing those small wins to add fuel to the tank. Again, I believe it's very detrimental to stay stuck in thinking about your wins for too long as well. But I can just share that same sentiment with Megan that man, you work so hard for something and it's almost like you don't recognize what you've accomplished until you've gotten there and you look back and you go, wow, I've come so far. That's how many of us feel when we get to a goal. And I think it's a great reminder. That, look, it's not about the goal, because you get to that spot and you look back and go, wow, look how far I've come. And then you put your head right back down and you start working towards the next goal. And I believe there is power in learning and creating a habit in which you are more engaged and focused on the process and finding extreme levels of joy within that work every single day. Because again, there's always going to be another goal. There's always going to be a destination to get to. And if we aren't careful, we will continue to get to all of those destinations only to have our life transpire and then get to the ultimate destination and go, wow, I never stopped to sit in this for a minute. This is a lot. I've done a lot. I've helped a lot. I've helped myself. I've accomplished these things. Let's not be blinded. Let's not be blinded by the most important work, and that is engaging in the giving and the serving and the working with others to help create the best place we possibly can and leave it better than what we found and than what we came into. Okay, let's move on. 8 months. In their story, Brett and Megan broke down that it took them 8 months to get to their first deal. And that was with hard, consistent work and dedication. And let me tell you, I know these two personally, and they are very dedicated individuals. They talked about their story. They talked about burning the boats. They talked about going all in and not looking back. And it's required. I believe that when you bite off something like wanting to do multifamily, right? Like not just do a deal, but actually become an investor and operate and grow your portfolio. You can't even imagine how difficult some of it's going to be. You can't even imagine how difficult some of it's going to be. You can try to predict, but until you're in the thick of it, you just don't quite understand. And so making that decision out of the gate to burn the boats and put yourself in a position where you have no other option other than to figure it out is one of the most powerful things that you can do. Now, look, we're all different. We're all at different stages of life. I have 4 children. I can't imagine burning all of my boats, meaning I can't imagine burning the boat of a W-2 job and not being able to provide for my children within an 8-month gap. Now, if I had a financial cushion to be able to do so and take that risk, sure. Brett was in a situation where he had to work himself into a situation where he could exit that career and do real estate full time. Megan was going to school full time during that process. Look, my point in bringing their situation and my current situation hypothetically is to help you reflect on your current situation. And I believe that burning the boats looks a little bit different for every single person. And what I mean by that is don't put yourself into a position. You don't have to put yourself into a position where you're risking everything. However, there needs to be strain and there does need to be risk. And you do need to put yourself in a position where you have to figure it out, where you have no other option, where you are all in, you are committed, and there is risk involved. It's crucial in order for you to be able to figure this thing out. And again, it's strategic. I say the quote all the time, growth is strategic. It happens by design, not by luck. Look, be strategic about it. I loved hearing their story and their process. And one of the things that I wanted to share here regarding their approach actually comes back to what I call a Dweckism, right? Carol Dweck is the author of the book Mindset. It's actually a book that we send out to all of our students as they come into mentorship. I believe it's one of the most powerful resources out there to help shape your mentality, to help shift your perspective to a growth mindset. I mean, a big part of what I do is help people adopt, feed, and live a growth mindset in all that they do. And Brett and Megan's story is, and their examples are living proof of the power of a growth mindset. And so I wanted to share something here, a little Dweckism, okay? And here it is. In fact, I could share numerous within their story, but this is one. In the fixed mindset, everything is about the outcome. If you fail or if you're not the best, it's all been wasted. The growth mindset allows people to value what they're doing regardless of the outcome. They're tackling problems, charting new courses, working on important issues. Maybe they haven't found the cure for cancer, but the search was deeply meaningful. Maybe they haven't gotten their first deal, but the search was deeply meaningful. We could reinsert that there. Look, Brett and Megan were so far from a fixed mentality. They were all in and they were problem solving and figuring it out. They consistently showed up every single day and problem solved. And here's what I can tell you about that type of approach within the multifamily industry or any other industry. That type of approach will kill doubt. Consistently showing up that way will kill doubt. And it will bring dreams to reality. It's going to be very uncomfortable when you're working full-time and doing a program like the Multifamily Mindset. It's going to be very difficult and very uncomfortable if you're a mother of 4 or a father of 4 and you're doing this program. But if you consistently show up, you will kill the doubt that continues to try and creep in. Through striving, that's how you do that. Through literally every single day showing up and striving to do your best and doing one thing like Brett talked about and getting a little bit better with every passing day, that's how you kill the doubt. And look, they worked long days within that 8-month span. They shared their experience that within that 8-month span from enter point of entry to their first deal, there were long days. 17-hour days, I think is what he said. That's how long it took them some days to learn how to execute on this business. But the cool thing about it is they're no longer working 17-hour days. Now, they consistently show up still, and they aspire to do a lot of great work in their lives. And so, yeah, they probably show up 10 plus hours, maybe even on a regular basis. But at this point, that is a choice of theirs. That is freedom to them of how they choose to show up, because they did what was necessary to get to that point. Those types of opportunities in life do not come for free. We have to work hardest for the things that we love and want most. And they are prime examples of that. I want to add a couple things to extract from their story. And again, and really we could sum it up in 2 points. Given time and the purpose of these episodes here on the MFM podcast and the importance of keeping them simple and to the point, I want to share 2 closing points from Megan and Brett's story. And the first is this. Brett said, "My ultimate advice is don't quit." It's simple. Just don't quit. And I refer to this as the ultimate hack. The ultimate hack to doing the thing is to simply do the thing. That means do something every single day. Do things, plural, as you get better every single day, and never quit. I actually had this conversation with my wife the other day because I myself am an entrepreneur. I've been working with the Multifamily Mindset since 2019. I am a private contractor, and I am the resident consultant here at the Multifamily Mindset. My entrepreneurial journey has not been one of ease. It has been one of difficulty, with many days where I question, where I doubt, where I struggle. And on those days, I remind myself, I have a quick conversation, a quick, powerful, simple, straight to the point, direct conversation with my wife. As she looks at me and smiles and says, "Honey, you got this," I tell myself, I've worked too hard and I will continue to work too hard for this to not work. I don't quit. And look, if that's the type of mentality you take to any endeavor that you are all in on, I'd take the probability of success there. He is very right and true in what he says, that if you just don't quit and you stay the course and you consistently show up, you'll figure it out. And I believe that all too often out there in this world of AI and everything else, that there are too many hacks being shared that are just completely and utterly false. There are plenty of resources and tools and strategies out there that can help you shrink the gap, and many of those things will help you shrink the gap at a faster rate, meaning the gap between where you're at right now and where you want to be and your definition of success. But the truth of the matter across all fronts is that if you want to be highly successful and, dare I say, become great at something, right? Whatever that thing is for you. For a lot of our listeners, that is investing in multifamily real estate and growing your portfolio. For some of you listening, it possibly is becoming a great CEO of a company that you've started that's already up in operation, or you aspire to do something like that. Or maybe it's become a speaker. I don't know what your goals are, but I can tell you this: it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of energy, and dedication over the course of many, many, many years to hit that level that you want to hit. And maybe some people would disagree, but it has been my experience. It has been my experience, and I've worked with people across lots of different industries at this point in my career. The ones who have gotten to that level, it did not happen overnight. They were not an overnight success, not even close. It took years and years. So that is the first point that I wanted to close out with. And number two, as we close this thing out, that I wanted to bring up and bring everybody's attention to is, and it was shown in Megan and Brett's story, is you got to give to get. You got to give to get, and the focus should be on giving. Don't worry about the get. And what I mean by don't worry about the get is the result. It's really hard to do. It's very easy to say, don't worry about the get, but it's really hard to do. You have to work hard to wire your brain to focus on the give, to create habits, daily habits around the give. And what I mean by the give is service and bringing value to the lives of others, helping others solve their problems, connecting other people with potential solutions. Sometimes those solutions look like other people. Sometimes they look like systems. Sometimes they look like programs. Sometimes they look like deals to the problems that they face. And that is not just how this business works, but that is how all great business that amounts to great success works. It is solution-based, and the leader is the giver. The leader is not the getter. Let me say that one more time. The leader is the giver. The leader is not the getter. Brett and Megan have demonstrated this in so many different ways. And again, that is one component to many, as well as many others, as to why they have been successful at the level that they have in their careers here. And it's not just here. That is a pattern that I'm sure if you traced back to the other parts of their life that they lived prior in the other industries that they were involved in prior to coming to this space, they had worked to ingrain those types of habits into their life. Coming into this network only amplified and built upon those things. And look, these principles are powerful, not just for here, they're powerful everywhere. We're in the business of amplifying people's lives, elevating people's lives, helping them elevate and amplify their lives so that they can, in return, help others in that same pattern elevate and amplify their lives. That's how we leave not just this space, but the world a better place. And it's our responsibility. It is our joint responsibility to continue to serve at that capacity. And yes, make some good money in that process, and then use all of those resources for even better work in this world. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us here on the MFM podcast. It's been my pleasure to be able to spend some time with you this week. We're very grateful for Brett and Megan, and we're looking forward to having their son-in-law, Eric, on the podcast here in a few weeks. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you guys back here again next time.
Multifamily Mindset
Podcast. Think bigger.